The fall sports season is underway. Highlights next on High School Sports Scene. Hi and welcome to a new season of High School Sports Scene. I'm Capri Gaines. Last year, Franklin and Newtown both made the state football playoffs. The two teams met in week 2 of the football season.
A hearty crowd braved a stormy evening at Franklin High School as the Indians hosted the Newtown Titans. On their first possession, Franklin driving as quarterback Jaquez Adams picks up 19. Adams then targets Jordan Adams, who wrestles the ball away from Titan defender Sean Stewart for a big gain. But Stewart came right back with a diving interception to end Franklin's drive. The Titans were having a tough time moving against the Franklin defense. On Franklin's next possession, Jaquez Adams recovers an errant snap and takes it to the 1. Two plays later, Adams dives in. Point after was good. Franklin up 7-0. In the second quarter, Franklin got their passing game going. Jordan Adams with a nice pickup off the screen. And Adams adds another reception on a quick slant. From the 10, Jaquez Adams connects with Steven Smothers for the score. Point after is good. Franklin goes up 14-0. After forcing Newtown to punt, Franklin got the ball back in Titan territory. Jaquez Adams keeps it for a big gain. And on the next play, scrambles into the end zone for the score. The Indians go up 21-0. But the Titans struck back quickly. Tevin Miller connects with Andre Neal, and Neal takes it the distance for an 80-yard pass play, cutting the Franklin lead to 21-6. But Franklin came right back with a big pass play of their own, Steven Smothers coming up with the catch. Then, Maurice McFadden rambles 16 yards for the score, giving Franklin a 28-6 lead at the half, on their way to a 51-12 win.
In another Week 2 football contest, Parkville traveled to Owings Mills to play in the Eagles' new stadium.
When the school year opened, the Owings Mills High athletic program had something new to show off. Eagle Stadium was ready for game time. The project added seating for 1,000 spectators, a new press box with camera platform, and a resurfaced track. Eagle fans hope to have many victories in the new facility. In Week 2 of the football season, the Eagles played host to Parkville. In first quarter action, Eagle running back Brock Zollicoffer takes it around end for a short gain, but Owings Mills was forced to punt. Parkville with the ball, toss goes to Aaron Top for a pickup of 10. Knight QB Danny Whitler finds Leroy Smith for the first down. Then Whitler hits DeQuell Brandon, pickup of 9. But the Knights' drive stalls, and with a 4th and 10, Parkville fakes a punt but comes up about 6 yards short. After trading punts, Knights with the ball midway through the second quarter. Whitler hits Key Dennis for a 20-yard gain. Whitler then scrambles for a first down, and a late hit moves the Knights closer to the end zone. From the 9, Aaron Topp gets the pitch, reverses field, and takes it in for the touchdown. Whitler finds Leroy Smith for the 2-point conversion to put Parkville up 8-0. Following a storm delay, the Knights would go on to a 22-20 win.
On the hockey field, Catonsville traveled to the Hereford zone to face off against the Bulls.
Hereford Stadium was the site as 12th-ranked Catonsville met the 9th-ranked Bulls. Early on, the Bulls working in the Comets' end, Rachel Karwacki gets off a shot, but it's blocked. Shortly after, the Bulls with a penalty corner, but the ball scoots past the goal mouth. The Comets meanwhile began to pressure the Bulls' defense. Catherine Sweeney passes ahead for Megan Sadler, but the Bulls clear. Then Sadler gets off a shot, but Hereford goalie Jesse Lynch is there for the save. The Comets broke through midway through the half as Brianna Spinato sends a shot just inside the near post to put Catonsville up 1-0. Hereford was determined to tie things up before the half, and with 2 minutes remaining, Rachel Karwacki did just that, knotting the score at 1-1. Four minutes into the second half, following a penalty corner, a scramble in front of the goal, and Lane Litzinger puts the ball in for a 2-0 Bull lead. Less than 3 minutes later, Lucy Ryder redirects a cross from Litzinger in for the Bulls' third score. Hereford kept up the pressure, Litzinger with another chance, but saved by Comet goalie Vanessa Tracy. Midway through the half, Litzinger on a breakaway, challenged by Tracy, and Lila Radeball puts the loose ball in to put the Bulls up 4-1. That would be the final margin as Hereford tops Catonsville.
And two consistently strong girls soccer teams met as Perry Hall hosted Loch Raven.
Loch Raven's girls soccer team took a 4-1 record to Perry Hall to meet the 8th-ranked Gators. Early on, Gator striker Melanie Garrison gets the ball on the wing, but Erica Carpenter closes quickly and clears. Shortly after, the Perry Hall attack gets the ball ahead to Sophia Perzan, but her cross is safely gathered in by Maggie Burnett. At the other end, Erica Carpenter's free kick is saved. Anaya Flanagan pushes the ball up to Melanie Garrison, who gets off a strong shot, but goalie Maggie Burnett makes the save. Katie Krychek crosses for Alex Hamill, but Gator keeper Maggie Lent gets there first. And later comes out to cover another Raider crossing attempt. The Gator attack began to increase the pressure as Maria Ambridge sends a ball ahead for Sophia Perzan, but Burnett is there. Perry Hall finally breaks through as Garrison streaks past the Raider defense and slides a shot past Burnett for a 1-0 lead at the 32-minute mark. Just before the half, Garrison has another chance, but Burnett covers the ball. Early in the second half, Loch Raven pressing, and Katie Krychek's shot hits the far post. Then Maria Ambridge drives a low shot into the far corner to give the Gators a 2-0 lead. Perry Hall continued to dial up the pressure as Garrison chips a shot that Burnett gathers in. Then, Sophia Curzon pushes a shot just wide of the far post. But with 7 minutes remaining, Curzon notched the third Gator goal on the way to a 4-0 victory.
That's all for this time. Coming up next is Randy Dace with Coach's Corner. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another edition of High School Sports Scene. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, I'm Capri Gaines. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Randy Dace and welcome to Coach's Corner. My guest today is Michael Sy, the Coordinator of Athletics in the Baltimore County Public School System. Michael, welcome to High School Sports Scene.
Thank you very much.
And I say congratulations. I know you've now served as 1 year and a few more months in preparation as the Coordinator of Athletics. How's it feel so far after 1 year?
It's been great. I think that the wonderful thing about being in Baltimore County or being a product of Baltimore County is that I'm very familiar with a lot of the principals, the coaches. So it's just been a whirlwind, just trying to get things under your own leadership. But it's been a very great adventure in terms of putting things together for the benefit of the Baltimore kids, county kids.
You said you're a product of Baltimore County. I know you're a graduate of Woodlawn High School. Tell us how your career proceeded in life in terms of finally getting back to Baltimore County.
Wow. Like you said, I'm a product of Woodlawn High School, graduated in 1990. Had a full scholarship to the University of Delaware to play football. So I went there, played football for 4 years, came out, and I went back to my high school. I had an opportunity to work out for some professional football teams, but I would train back at my old high school. So when I was out there, I would get out there and I would be doing my thing as the kids were out there practicing. And I had a connection because my brother and sister both went there behind me. So some of the kids knew who I was, and I was also fortunate enough to be state champion in track and field. So I was coming out helping with the track team and doing my workout at the same time, and I really fell in love with helping the kids. I was very fortunate at Woodlawn to have just great coaches, great mentors. So that's my root, my basis. So I'm always trying to make sure that the kids have great coaches and great mentors. So I came back, and like most people say, I got hooked. And I started working with the kids. Next thing you know, the track coach needed an assistant, and I came on to help him out. And then I started working with the football coach as well, and who was Brian Scrivens, who's the principal at Woodlawn right now. And so that was just a great opportunity, and it just kind of snowballed from there. I started as assistant track and football coach. I became the head track coach. When I took over for Gerald Russell, we had the opportunity to win a couple state championships. And the principal at the time, Ms. Lynette Woodley, said, "Have you ever thought about being the AD?" And I said, "No, not really." But I went ahead and kind of thought about it and thought about the impact that I could have at my alma mater. So I kind of dove in head first, was fortunate and got the position. And then I spent 13 years as the AD at Woodlawn. And then the opportunity came to impact Baltimore County on a larger level. And I said, hey, sometimes it's just the right time. And I just kind of threw my name in the hat, went through the process, and here I am now.
And you had a pretty good mentor. I think a gentleman by the name of Ron Belenko.
Yeah.
And Ron was in the county, I think, since birth, wasn't he?
Wow.
It seems like.
46 years.
46 years.
46 years in Baltimore County. Ron is a legend, an icon. And I'm trying to establish that same type of rapport for myself. A lot of times people refer to me as, that's Ron's replacement. They don't even know my whole name. But as you get in and put the years like Ron did in and establish and create guidelines that impact the kids in a positive manner, then people begin to know your name and know the type of person that you are.
As coordinator of athletics, what's been the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is just getting used to trying to be in so many places at so many different times. You know, it's one of me and 24 high schools, 27 middle schools. So it's really about just trying to give your attention to every single program, because you want them to think that they have the same value as the next program. So you don't ever want a program in Baltimore County to feel like they're not being valued. So, you know, I try to make sure I get out to the soccer games and to the badminton matches and to the golf tournaments and to the football games. So just trying to be all over the county and show my face that I'm in support of all the coaches, all the kids, all the schools and all the communities has probably been the toughest part.
And that's something I know that Ron really believed in. I know that you're following through, is you have to be seen. And when you're seen every day out there between 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at the late games, I think that's very important to the athletes, to the coaches, and to the parents. And I think that's fantastic. August, well, it was 13th, 14th, 15th. We had a floating date this year to start the fall athletics. But whenever you started, what were some of the goals, do you think, for our total athletic program for the 2013-14 year?
Well, I guess the main goal was safety. And as you stated, the calendar started 3 days earlier than it normally would, and that was primarily because of the heat acclimatization policy that went into effect last year. So Ned Sparks, who's the head of the MPSSA and the executive council, which I sit on, we sat down and met and tried to determine how can we give the coaches more practice time, because they were losing practice time with the kids. And ultimately, when you lose practice time with the kids, you're not probably getting the same techniques across or having the amount of time to make sure that they're ready to compete in a safe manner on the field.
And we're talking about safety. I know as I attended my first coaches meeting at Owings Mills for all soccer coaches, concussions, very important area that we have great concern about. You want to tell us about the county's feelings about concussions?
Well, again, safety is paramount when it comes to student athletes of Baltimore County. The concussion management program is something that's not new, but there have been new regulations that have come up this year. And I think that it's a positive thing, because what people don't understand is the concussion happens in all sports. It's not just about football. Actually, girls soccer is probably one of the areas where you receive the most concussions. So, you know, the policies that are in place are there to protect our kids. We have increased certification where now you have to get recertified every 2 years, very similar to CPR and first aid. So we're moving in the right direction, and I think we'll continue to make sure that we're doing what we feel is best for our student athletes in Baltimore County.
I know Dr. Dance, his favorite word is technology. And how has technology impacted our sports program in Baltimore County this year? Well,
it's an exciting time. I mean, Dr. Dance always talks about the digital conversion. And as we move forward in this digital age, athletics, we're trying to do the same thing. We've been very excited about updating our website to provide some of the information about concussion management, providing a very comprehensive page where you can get information from the CDC, from the NFHS, and some of the other organizations regarding information that parents might not be privy to on a normal basis. We're also trying to change the way in which we view our games. We've hooked up with digital sports. Play on Sports, which is an organization that does live web streaming. And we're looking at doing live web streaming at our games, so that a parent who can't make it to their child's game can actually sit at home or on their cell phone and watch the game at home. And last but not least, County Sports Zone. We're in a society now where they want immediate response, and County Sports Zone is going to provide that for us by getting all our scores online by hopefully 10 o'clock in the evening. So as we move into that digital conversion for Baltimore County Public Schools, athletics is following as well.
We talk about fall athletics, a lot of different sports taking place. Are you seeing a large participation still this year in county sports, or are there any sports that might be declining in participation?
Well, I think participation numbers are very good right now. I think with the change in our eligibility policy in terms of ninth graders coming in and giving that free slate, we strongly believe that those ninth graders getting with a coach and having that mentor can help them academically. So giving them that free slate has definitely increased our JV numbers. One area that we are trying to work on is our female participation. I know our field hockey numbers have struggled a little bit with several programs having to shut down for this year, but I believe that we're continuing to work in the positive manner, talking to the schools, and having really the key to it is having great and quality coaches for some of these programs.
Let's talk about the academic eligibility. It used to be if you had 2 E's, you could not participate. Now you must maintain a C average. Has that hurt a lot of students? Actually,
it hasn't. I think that initially we saw a little flux in the amount of kids that were coming out, and were deemed academically eligible. But I think the biggest part of that is educating. Letting the kids know that you need a 2.0, letting the kids know what the academic eligibility standard is. And I think when you set those bars high, the kids will reach them. But it's just a matter of them knowing what it is to do to reach them and having the supports in place. And our coaches do a phenomenal job making sure that they follow their kids, monitor them, throughout the season, making sure that the grades are done, making sure that they're getting those grades. And with the NCAA increasing their eligibility standards, it was time for us to raise ours as well.
And it's interesting, most of our student athletes you'll find are highly successful during season versus when they're not participating in sports, because I think that time management kicks in.
Oh, absolutely. And again, when you have someone looking over you, your coach helping monitor you, the communication between the coach, the parent, the teacher, the kid is really in a win-win situation. Well, that's why you see a lot of student athletes achieve, because they have a support system around them that's helping them move in the right direction.
This is also an exciting year. We just had realignment take place in terms of 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, which is based on population of the schools. And now there's something brand new. We have regional tournaments, but there's called sectionals now. Can you explain the concept? Well,
the concept sectionals is exactly what it is. It was pretty much formed because there was a lot of travel issues regarding within the region. For example, you'll have in the 3A North, you'll have Milford Mill playing in Team CM Wright, which is in Hereford County. So now, to help with travel time, loss of instructional time, giving kids the opportunity to get home at a decent hour, you're pretty much playing teams that are in your area. So for example, sticking with the 3A North, you'll have Woodlawn, Randallstown, pretty much all Baltimore County schools all in one section. The winners of the sections, Section 1 and Section 2, will play in the regional final to give you a regional champion.
And so how will the seeding take place in such a tournament now?
Well, it's pretty much, different sports have different seeding, but for the most part, top 2 will be seeded in each section, and then it'll be a random draw after that, and then you play within your section until you come down to your 2 final sectional winners, and then you play for a regional championship.
And we talked about coaches. Coaches are pretty vital in this whole athletic department, but in the past, many of your coaches were classroom teachers, but things have changed in the classroom. It's pretty demanding. Are we seeing more coaches coming from the outside to help out in the program, and do you see that will change in the future?
Wow, it's a great question. I guess it's one of those subjects where you really appreciate the coaches that you get from outside the education system. However, I'm a big proponent of trying to make sure we have coach teachers because our program is education based. And that connection, a lot of your great coaches are teachers within our high school system. But the demands and just life in general, we've had to go outside and try to find coaches that are willing to coach at the high school level. We're probably at about a 60-40 ratio teachers to coaches that are outside. Do we want to increase our teachers in the building? Yes, because they're right there with the kids. They can serve as the mentor in the building during the day, not just after school. And they have a direct access to the staff, the kids, and also the community.
Well, Mike, it's been great to talk to you, and I'll tell you what, I caught you last fall when you first got the job, and you didn't look so good.
Man, I had a tough one.
Pneumonia, if I'm not mistaken?
I had pneumonia. I was down for probably about 3 months.
Wow.
Probably was out for about 2 weeks, but I worked every single day. I was just coming a little later, and you saw me probably struggling.
Oh, I shook hands. I was worried about you.
Yeah, I was worried too. But I've been blessed, man. I'm sitting here, and I got healthy again, and then I had the one great thing about being in the Office of Athletics. I got a great support staff: Lynette Mitchell, Pat Marston, Brad Cressman, and then all the coaches are all supportive. They all stepped up around me and helped make sure that things got ran until I got myself back together.
Well, listen, stay well and good luck, and we're pleased to have you heading at athletics in Baltimore County.
Well,
Take care.
Look forward to it.
Okay. For High School Sports Scene, I'm Randy Dace. Thanks for watching. See you next time.